Loving an avoidant person is one of the loneliest experiences in a relationship. You are with someone. They are right there. And somehow, you still cannot quite reach them. You say something real and they change the subject. You try to get close and they get busy. You bring up what you need and they go quiet in a way that feels like a door closing. And the part that makes it hardest is that it is not always like this. Sometimes they are warm, present, genuinely here, which makes the distance feel like something you did. Some version of yourself that was too much or not enough, or wrong in a way you cannot quite identify. What we know from the research is that this pattern has a very specific explanation, and that explanation reframes almost everything. Because the partners who navigate this successfully are not the ones who found a way to make their avoidant partner need them less. They are the ones who found a way to need something different from themselves. In this video, we are going to look at what the research actually shows about loving an avoidant partner, what works, what backfires, and what the science says about whether it is possible to build something real without losing yourself in the process. Before we go further, if this is your first time here, we share relationship psychology research every week that most people never encounter. Hit subscribe so you do not miss it. And if you want to understand your own attachment pattern specifically, we have built a free attachment style quiz over at magneticchemistry.com. The link is in the description. Takes about 3 minutes and gives you a personalized breakdown. Now, back to what actually works. If you love someone with avoidant attachment, there is a question you have probably asked yourself more than once. Am I making this worse? Is the way I'm showing up, the way I try to connect, the things I ask for, the moments I push, am I the thing that keeps sending them further away? That question matters. Not because the answer is yes, it is not. Not in the way you are afraid it is. But because the research suggests there is something genuinely useful inside it. The partners who do best in these relationships are the ones who take that question seriously, not as self-blame, but as information. Here is what we know from attachment research that reframes the whole thing. The avoidant partner's withdrawal is not a response to you specifically. It is a deactivating strategy that their nervous system runs automatically when attachment activation crosses a certain threshold. The practical implication is this: the intensity of your approach directly affects the timing and speed of their withdrawal. Not the fact of it, but the timing. In 1992, Jeffrey Simpson and colleagues published research that became foundational in understanding how avoidant attachment operates under stress. Among the key findings, avoidant individuals respond significantly better to low-pressure, consistent presence than to emotional urgency or direct demand for closeness. The need for connection they have is real. What triggers the shutdown is the feeling that closeness is being extracted rather than offered. The distinction matters enormously in practice. Extracted closeness feels like, I need you to tell me you love me right now. I need to know where we stand. I need you to open up about this. These are all understandable needs, but they arrive as demand, and demand activates the defensive system. Offered closeness feels different. It is presence without pressure. It is, I am here, and I am not going anywhere, and I am not asking you to be different right now. It is the difference between a hand extended and a hand that grabs. Meet Nadia. She is 36, and she has been with Jordan for just over a year. Jordan is avoidant, not dramatically, not in ways that would be obvious to anyone from outside, but Nadia has noticed the pattern. The way he gets quieter after particularly close weekends. The way big conversations seem to cost him something. The way he reappears, warm and present, once the pressure of the moment is past. For the first 8 months, Nadia responded to Jordan's withdrawal the way most people do. She pushed to understand it. She brought it up directly. She told him she felt disconnected and asked him to meet her there. And every time she did, the conversation ended the same way. Jordan going quiet, apologetic but unreachable, and Nadia feeling more alone than before she started. What Nadia was doing made complete sense from her side of the relationship. She was naming her experience, asking for connection, trying to close the distance through honesty. But from the nervous system's perspective, she was increasing the pressure at exactly the moment the avoidant system needed to decrease it. Every pursuit was teaching Jordan's nervous system that closeness leads to demand. Stay with us, because what Nadia did next is where the research gets genuinely practical, and it points towards something most people do not expect.
Quick question before we keep going.
When you are in a relationship and you feel your partner pulling away, what is your instinct? Do you move toward the distance and try to close it? Or do you give space and wait? Drop A for move toward or B for give space in the comments. We read every single one. And if you want to go deeper on how attachment patterns show up in relationships, we have written about it on the blog at magneticchemistry.com. Link in the description. Now, the shift. The most effective thing an anxious or pursuer style partner can do for an avoidant relationship is not to become less needy. It is to become more regulated. There is an important distinction here that the research is clear on. Becoming less needy often means suppressing real needs, which builds resentment and eventually erupts. Becoming more regulated means developing the capacity to hold your own nervous system steady enough that you do not require the avoidant partner to regulate it for you in any given moment. What that looks like in practice? When Jordan goes quiet after a close weekend, Nadia stopped treating it as data about the relationship. She started treating it as data about his nervous system, a predictable decompression, not a verdict. She did not stop having needs. She got better at meeting some of them elsewhere. Friends, her own creative work, the things that made her feel like herself independent of the relationship. The counterintuitive result? Jordan began to move closer. Not immediately, not dramatically, but the consistent low-pressure presence that Simpson's research predicted, it created something the relationship had not had before. Safety without cost. Closeness that did not come with a bill attached. We want to be clear about what this is and what it is not. This is not asking the partner of an avoidant to become a lesser version of themselves. It is not asking someone to abandon their needs or tolerate disconnection indefinitely. There is a version of this dynamic that is simply incompatible, where one person's capacity for closeness genuinely cannot meet another person's minimum requirement for connection. That is real, and it matters. What the research describes is a different scenario. It describes the specific conditions under which earned security, the movement from avoidant to more secure, is most likely to happen. And those conditions require a partner who has done enough of their own work that they are not using the relationship as their only source of regulation. That is genuinely hard. It requires self-awareness that most people do not arrive at the relationship already having. It requires, in a lot of cases, the same kind of insight work we have been talking about throughout this series. Understanding your own attachment patterns well enough to stop being run by them automatically, which is exactly why understanding your specific pattern is where this becomes actionable. Not just knowing you are anxious or avoidant in the abstract, but knowing precisely where it shows up for you, what triggers it, and what your particular version of the pattern looks like. That level of specificity is what changes behavior. We have built a free attachment style quiz at magneticchemistry.com that gives you exactly that, a personalized breakdown of your attachment style and how it operates. Takes about 3 minutes, completely free. Link in the description.
If you are in this dynamic, if you love someone avoidant and you have been asking whether this can work, the research does not give a simple answer.
What it gives is this: the relationships that make it are the ones where at least one person understands the mechanism well enough to stop responding to it automatically. Where someone decides that their own regulation is not the avoidant partner's job. Where the presence offered is genuine, not a strategy to get the avoidant to open up, but actual steadiness, actual security, coming from inside, not from a need for the other person to provide it. In the final video of this series, we are looking at what happens when the avoidant partner themselves decides to change, what healing avoidant attachment actually looks like, why it requires more than insight, and what the research says about the relational environment that makes it most possible.